I'm going to come straight to him. In regards to, I call him Glock 14, sort of my striker, Viktor Gyokeres. Now we spoke about him because I class you as an EFL guru. So if there's a player in the championship, more than likely I will do my own research. But Tom White just popped into my head. I'm going to ask him questions. But Viktor Gyokeres is someone I wanted. Said it to you. Done well at Coventry. That's the first time I saw him. I know there was sort of a Premier League history in terms of clubs he was at before, or he gets a move to Sporting Lisbon. Coventry done well out of it in terms of financial package. Was a goal scoring machine, not just a goal scoring machine, was an assist machine as well. Double figures in obviously both categories. Gets a move to Arsenal, which I was absolutely ecstatic about. And I made sure that I clipped it and put it out there, that I put the word out quite a long time ago about him. But so I'm not going to sit here and be smart, because I didn't think at that time we were going to get him from the names that were being linked to Arsenal, and Arsenal needing a striker in inverted commas, and not really having one since Aubameyang left, really, Aubameyang Lacazette days. But my first question to you, really, got a hat-trick last night for Sweden as well, by the way. Fantastic for him, personal accolade. What have you made of his Arsenal career thus far?
Right. What is his goals to game ratio? Have you got that in front of you?
I haven't got that, but I know he's only one goal off of Lacazette's best season at Arsenal. 17
Right.
goals
Okay.
in all comps.
Right. Well, there you go. Straight away, for your first season at Arsenal, first season in the Premier League, first of all, that's good. And you've still got 7 games to go in the league. You've still got Champions League, and you've still got FA Cup. So straight away, he is going to have a good enough season for his first season in charge. So that's the first thing to say. The second thing to say, when he was at Coventry, I absolutely loved him. Hated it when he was playing against us, but I thought he was brilliant. He had everything for a striker. He's strong. He's not slow. He's not lightning quick, but he's not slow. Very strong. When he strikes the ball very well, strikes the ball very cleanly. And, he looks like a striker. He looks like a proper striker. And I was very confident that he would fly in the Premier League. He did really well at Coventry. He did better at when he went to Sporting. His numbers were incredible. And it's hard to judge. But the top league in Portugal should really be better than the Championship. I mean, Sporting is certainly better than Coventry. And playing opposition that should be better than the teams that Coventry were playing. I thought of all the strikers that moved last summer, I thought Arsenal got the best deal. But he has had so much stick. And to a certain degree, I understand it. But I've always said, as you know, I've always said on air and off air, as the season goes on, he will get better and better, and he will prove to be a brilliant signing for Arsenal. I think he is proving to be a very good signing so far, could still prove to be brilliant this season, and then next season he's going to be even better. I don't think you need another striker in the summer.
It's interesting because, like I said, there's different points I wanted to get you on, and if I'm going to be really honest, the main reason why I wanted to get you on was to talk about Viktor Gyokeres. This is my take, and I'm going to bring you back in at some point when I finish my monologue, because there's a lot to say. Even when, before he came to Arsenal, Tom, and I first saw, you know what, this is kind of the guy that I want. Not Ivan Toney, not Isak, not Vlahovic. Watkins was spoken about. There was many strikers spoken about. Sesko was another one to put in there. But I always remained firm. So Victor's the one I want. What I've seen at Sporting, not just the goals, what he brings in terms of to the team, and it's double figures for assists. That shouldn't be overshadowed, which does tend to happen a lot. And you said something to me on Weekly Surgery a few years ago now, and it popped into my head when I thought about it. I've spoken this with Sophie. Big up Sophie from Highbury Squad, Sophie Nicolau, and many people
I love
have spoken
Sophie,
to.
by the way.
I love her as well. I adore her. I will tell her, Tom, and I'll clip it.
Yes.
But Tom, I don't have an issue if you don't rate a player as a football fan. That's not my problem with the whole Viktor Gyokeres talk and I'm going to say it, character assassination. There's two problems here. The first problem is amongst sections of the Arsenal fan base, whether it be from the broadcasting point of view, presenting point of view, journo point of view, content creators point of view. With some sections of our Arsenal fan base who absolutely worship Mikel, if Mikel wants a player, according to them, they're on board. When there might be murmurs that let's just say Tom, for argument's sake, Mikel didn't want Gyokeres and he got bought in because Berta had the final say. Let's just go with that for the moment. I look at the way certain Arsenal fans critique Viktor as opposed to other players at Arsenal, and it's not critique. For me, it's very personal. And you said something in regards to Harry Maguire, and we spoke about him on here, and you mentioned the word bullying. And this is coming from me, and I'm happy to say this on my channel and any other people's channel, but more so mine. Some of the analysis and the critique of Viktor Gyokeres has been disgraceful. And I'm talking about our own fans, firstly, and followed behind a pack of other people that maybe don't affiliate themselves with Arsenal. I've seen things said about his weight, some things about his touch, even to the point now, Tom, with certain aspects of our fans. I almost feel like the criticism is the same when he scores and when he doesn't score. Some of the stuff I've heard and listened to or sent to me, what is this really about? And again, it ties into what I said. It's not a good reason, Tom, and I big up my boy RJ who says this all the time. Because Viktor, in terms of his style of play maybe, is not aesthetically pleasing to some sections of the Arsenal fan base, it's an easier stick to beat him with. Because he's not a beautiful player to watch, like I talk about a Berry Eze, for example. Fantastic football. Roger Federer football, I call him, Tom. But I appreciate the fact that he's a player. That's the difference. He's a good player. But just because he's not a Sesko or a Hugo Ekitike, they cling on to that. Again, I don't think it's a good reason. I think it's pathetic. But I just find it strange that someone who's been in the Premier League for his first season, and people argued this time about Arsenal. I don't care what striker he's bringing to Arsenal. When we play the football that we play at Arsenal, I think he's done well to get the goals that he's got, to be totally honest. So sort of bringing you back in, and you can probably tell by the way I'm speaking, it's been something that's kind of been on my mind for quite a while. And I've vocalized it, to be honest with you. I don't know how many Arsenal fans you know, apart from myself, or who you speak to, or if you've seen it from an outside point of view. I just feel the way he's spoken about, it's personal. And it's not coming from me purely from a footballing point of view. I'll let you come in.
Yeah, I've not. So when you make the comparison to Harry Maguire, I've not seen it as bad as that. But part of that is probably because Harry Maguire plays for England and he's going to get more. I'm going to hear a lot more criticism because it's not just Manchester United fans, it's the whole country. I haven't liked that bullying of Harry Maguire, as you know, for quite some time.
Yeah.
I've not seen bullying of Viktor Gyokeres. I have seen people writing him off far too soon. I have seen people being a little bit unfair when you compare him to Ekitike. Has he now not got the? I think he's got the same amount of goals as Ekitike this season.
There's a couple of goals here and there in it, maybe one or above or two below the same.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got it to my fingertips, but I know the other week we were talking about it. One of the topics on my show was everybody says that Hugo Ekitike has been a brilliant signing for Liverpool, and he has. Yet Gyokeres' figures are very, very similar. So why are people saying that Gyokeres has been a bad signing? And that's something I've got a bit of an issue with, all right, albeit without the figures to hand. Bullying, I'm not sure if he's getting the
I'm using that word, by the way. Let me be clear. I'm using that. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'll say
I'm not sure if he's getting bullied, like I think Harry Maguire has been in the past. But I do think he is getting unfair treatment from neutrals, certainly, because I still think that he's been a good signing so far and will get better. And just purely comparing him to Ekitike and all those strikers or forwards that went in the summer, Gyokeres, Sesko, Ekitike, Cunha doesn't always play an out strike.
Yeah.
João Pedro. It took João Pedro a while. He wasn't prolific. He's been scoring a little bit. He's scoring more lately. But I think Gyokeres signing has been good. And if I was an Arsenal fan, I would still want him to lead the line next season.
Do you know why it is why I use that, Tom? Because I see it all the time. Obviously, being in the podcasting side of it and just watching the analysis of it. And I sit there and I've had this conversation with Sophie so many times. And big up Kenny Ken. Because, Tom, it's all right for Arsenal fans to have their reservations about a striker coming to the Premier League for the first time. It's a different ball game when you come here, man. I've said it for the entire existence of the Premier League history. Yes, there's some players that come over from European leagues and they come and they kick it and they do it straight from the gun. Now, if you watch Arsenal play, and I'm going to say it again, Tom, to me, it didn't matter who we bought. We could have bought the second coming of Maradona and Pele. The way we play, we do not create chances enough. And for me, for that reason, he was going to struggle. And like I said, I think it's a miracle he's got the goals that he's got. I just listened to the way he's spoken about. And like I said before, it's not a particularly very good reason, but it is the reason as to why sections of our fan base who are old enough to know better, because they're very happy to extend a lot of grace to players already at the club. I'll give you an example, Tom. I know for a fact, I don't care what anyone tells me, if we had signed, for example, Sesko, there's fractions within the Arsenal fan base, and I'm going to say this, it might upset a few people. I call them the Arsenal hierarchy, the Arsenal elites of the podcasting world, right? If we'd have signed Sesko and he'd have had the exact same start that Viktor had at Arsenal, he would have been extended a lot more grace. And I'm being polite by saying that.
Well, I'm surprised to hear that, because Sesko at Manchester United had a really bad start and was written off quite quickly, and then suddenly started coming off the bench and scoring goals, and now everybody loves him. But he was written off very quickly as well. And everyone was talking about Sesko versus Gyokeres, who should Arsenal go for?
Drive me mad.
I still think, now I think Sesko is an excellent striker too, but you needed someone for now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Gyokeres has delivered enough personally. And I think the way, when you talk about the way you play, I know what you mean. You've got wingers who cut in and go themselves or pull it back. You don't have wingers who put the ball into the box for the striker. You're not used to playing like that. That's part of it. You're not used to playing like that. You're not used to trying to find a striker because you've never had a prolific striker since Arteta's been there, really. Not the last few years anyway. Yeah. Gyokeres was supposed to be the difference of getting you from second to first. Well, is he not doing that? Are you going to come first this season? Very, very, very probably. Gyokeres was brought in to be the striker to do that, the out-and-out striker to do that. You've got the out-and-out striker. He is scoring goals, and I think he'll score more between now and the end of the season. And you're going to finish first, not second. So, as far as I'm concerned, great signing. Save your money. Spend it elsewhere if you need to. I don't think you need a striker next season.
Interesting. Tom, you made a key point, and I'm glad you said a particular word or sentence in terms of what Arsenal need now. That's right. I don't disagree with that. My issue with certain fractions of the Arsenal fan base is they're taking that and they're lassoing that around just to Gyokeres' neck. That's wrong, because we've come up short before he came to the club. Different styles of football still didn't win the league. Last season the football was rubbish. I don't care what anyone, it was rubbish. 14 draws. You can't win a league title that way. But the difference is, I think the problem is, Tom, it's an insatiable appetite for Arsenal to want to win trophies. And now our sections of the fan base are like, oh, no, but we need to win. He's got to score. He's got to do better. That's not fair. He's been here for 6 to 8 months. I don't see you applying that type of pressure with certain other players, because they're aesthetically pleasing. I hate saying the term, Tom, but I keep saying it because I know that's what it is with some of the fan base. So that's fine to have expectations of a player, but don't put that lasso around his neck and put it on his shoulders. That's my problem with certain sections of the Arsenal fan base.
Gyokeres has been very good, hasn't he, with scoring against so-called smallest, clubs who aren't up around. Okay, nothing wrong with that, because am I right in thinking that you've dropped points in key games against clubs further down in the last few seasons and finished second? Am I right in thinking that?
I know there was a stat. I know there was a stat in terms of drop points and winning positions, which is quite damning.
Well, I'm just looking here at his goals. I mean, this annoyingly this includes Sweden as well, but 19 goals and 47 appearances, but that includes for Sweden. All right, but I'm just looking at some of his goals. All right, he started quite slowly. I mean, he got 2 against Leeds straight away. He got 1 at home to Forest, but he's been scoring in the Champions League. Okay, Burnley, away at Everton. That is a very, very tough game. There's people have been calling my show this week saying that Everton can finish 5th and get in the Champions League. You won 1-0 away at Everton. That is a massive win. Who scored the goal? Viktor Gyokeres. In the League Cup, he scored away at Chelsea. He scored away at Inter. Leeds away, I didn't think you were going to win that game. You won 4-0. He scored 2 against us, obviously. He scored 2 in a derby at Tottenham. Right? I mean, that is normally cult hero status. And then he scored at home to Everton as well, who were flying. So I just, when I look at his stats this season, I think he's been fine. I think he's been good.
No, listen, this is why I've been honestly wanting to get you on for quite a while, because I think obviously since we've spoken about you coming on recently over a period of time, and obviously the discourse that it's been exhausting with the Gyokeres thing. I'm going to be really, really honest, because I do watch alongs on my channel for games, and big up on Dan Potts' channel on the Football 12 Man. And I'm sort of 10, 15 minutes into game, maybe even 5 minutes into games. And it's just Gyokeres, first touch, Gyokeres, he's got to do better. I'm just like, the Tottenham game was a perfect example. The first 45 minutes away at Spurs. Leandro Trossard was awful. All the moves broke down around him. But yet still fractions of our fan base, Gyokeres this, Gyokeres that. He's got to do better. Even as you mentioned, he scored 2 that game. And yeah, I went on a couple podcasts after the show, and Thomas, sometimes I think, am I living in the twilight zone? What am I hearing here? And I'm going to finish up on this. I want to talk about Mikel. As much as I've watched football in my lifetime, before I even entered YouTube, or even more so sort of doing the podcasting come 6 years this June. And like I said to you, Tom, I see it a lot from the Arsenal side of it, so I see it every day. I've never seen a player being covered like this. Never. First season in the Premier League. I've never seen anything like it. From Arsenal fans to some journos, not all of them, some. It's strange to me. I've never seen anything like it.
I would say I've seen it with Xhaka at Arsenal.
I understand what you're saying. He was at Arsenal a fair few years before that. It really kicked off. But in terms of a player coming to a club in his first season,
right? Yeah,
I've not seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this. The coverage, never, and it's strange to me. And I've seen football a long time, so I was very happy, Tom, in a personal point of view. He got a hat trick last night.
on a wider subject there about Arsenal, I've been quite